We're talking about the top 10 rookie running backs for 2018 fantasy football leagues. Now, we already know running backs is the most important position in fantasy sports. We also know rookie running backs, they have the most success of all the first-year players. If you look back at history, you see a lot of great rookie running backs, guys like Eric Dickerson and Marcus Allen, or actually, you're not old enough for those guys. How about Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara even last year, Kareem Hunt. Rookie running backs can really solidify a fantasy football roster. If you look over just recently, the trend of rookie running backs has really gone up in the past, let's say, 6 seasons, from 2012 to 2017. In that span of the top 10 fantasy running backs in each of those seasons, there have been 12 rookie running backs. That's insane. If you look back at the 9 season before that, that's 2003 to 2011, there were only 5 rookie running backs among the top 10 running backs in fantasy scoring. That's crazy. So we're going to get right into it and look at this year, the 2018 rookie running backs for your fantasy football leagues. Number 1, Saquon Barkley. There wasn't any doubt. You pretty much probably skipped over this one already, but Saquon Barkley is easily the top rookie running back going into 2018. He has a first-round ADP at this point, which is insane. I'm not going to be taking him in the first round. I'll let everyone else take him in the first round. I'm good. If he drops in the second round, I'm all over it. But my first-round pick, I need something safe. I need somebody I know that's going to deliver, that has done it in the past. I want production out of that first spot. He very well could be. He's a once-in-a-generation running back. We'll see how that pans out. As a professional, a lot of things change for a lot of people when they come out of college and go into the pros. There's all of a sudden they're getting paid. All of a sudden there's a ton of endorsements. All of a sudden there's a lot of people pulling them every which way. They have to move, new coaching staff, a lot of things affecting them. So to invest a first-round pick in a guy like Saquon Barkley, to me, is not a wise investment. But that's just me. He does everything. He's a 3-down back, but we'll see if he can turn around that first round value. Now on to number 2, Derrius Guice with the Washington Redskins. I love him. I loved him at LSU. He was the guy that pretty much backed up Leonard Fournette, and then Fournette moved on, and Derrius Guice, it was all his for last year, and he didn't disappoint. Love him in Washington in Jay Gruden's offense, but he's going to have Chris Thompson picking up the third down duties and pass catching duties in that offense. But I still like a lot of that offense being run through Guice, especially now as they're transitioning that roster. My number 3 guy, Rashaad Penny from the Seattle Seahawks. I like this guy a lot. The only problem with him is, and it's really not a problem with him, I think he's going to be the main tailback for the Seahawks. My problem is with the Seahawks. How many times are they going to get rookie running backs into their system? Like, thinking that just the past few years, how many guys they've had, like CJ Prosise, Kristen Michael, last year we got Thomas Rawls a couple years ago, Chris Carson. Like, they've just churned through a lot of rookie running backs. To me, it's a little unsettling. You know, Pete Carroll needs to straighten up a little bit and stick with one guy and let's move on. Speaking of move on, number 4, Ronald Jones II with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now I'm a Bucs fan, so I'm excited about this, of course. This offense, it's like somebody trying to light a stick of dynamite, and the lighter is low on fuel. Like, you know it's coming. Once that thing sparks, this offense is going to be amazing. It was very good last year, as a matter of fact, especially late in the season. Unfortunately, running back-wise, they were not awesome. That's where Ronald Jones II comes in. One of his best attributes is that he can break off big plays, and that's something they haven't had. As a matter of fact, last year, they did not have one 20-yard rush. Not one! And we definitely think that Ronald Jones II can provide that for them. He does need to know how to block and pass catch, though, so he can be utilized more. But that's something they didn't really use him much for at USC, so it's tough to blame him as much as it's tough to say he can't do it as much as he wasn't asked to do it. Okay, so we move on to number 4. Somebody that was asked to do it, somebody that can catch passes and make more big plays is SONY MICHEL. He's going to New England Patriots. I would have him higher if he wasn't going in Bill Belichick's offense. We know Belichick, what he does with running backs. It's what you think is going to happen over here. It's like a shell game. You're pretty sure that Mike Gillislee is going to be the main running back, and then it's just insane. He's got something going on. Last year, people were investing a top 5 round pick in Gillislee. That was crazy. This year, maybe it's not so crazy in MICHEL. This guy can break it from anywhere on the field. He's a touchdown threat or a home run threat in any play. But he does have other running backs he has to contend with, Rex Burkhead. And within that offense, a lot of rookies have trouble in that offense, usually receivers. So we'll see what Belichick can do. The one thing that I'm confident about is the fact that the Patriots picked this running back in the first round. Like, that's pretty rare for Belichick and his regime to pick a running back in the first round. So to me, that tells me they're invested in him and they're going to use him a lot. I don't like the Patriots, but I do like SONY MICHEL. All right, so we're moving on to number 6, Royce Freeman. Look, any of these last 5 guys I mentioned after Saquon Barkley, these rankings could be fluid over the next month and a half, 2 months. Royce Freeman has just as much chance to be the 2nd best running back in this class as he does the 6th best, which is where I have him ranked now. I do think Devontae Booker's going to get a lot of touches in this offense, but it is an offense that is making a nice transition with a good quarterback finally. They haven't had a good quarterback there in a while, so we'll see what Royce Freeman can do in this offense, but don't hold me to that he has to stay at 6. I could see him moving up at some point. I'd look at him, he can do a little bit of everything. And I said this before, that he reminds me almost like a poor man's Saquon Barkley. So instead of going with Saquon Barkley in the first round, wait another 5, 6, 7 rounds and go with Freeman later on. Number 7, KERRYON Johnson for the Detroit Lions. There's no doubt to me that he's going to be a talented guy eventually, but right now he's got LeGarrette Blount to deal with, especially for goal line duty, and he has Theo Riddick, one of the best 3rd down backs in the league, taking the 3rd down. So if we can get KERRYON Johnson to get all those 2nd down carries, then that'd be, no, I'm just kidding. But I do think he'll end up getting the lion's share. I do think he'll get the lion's share of the carries in Detroit. So we'll move on to number 8, Nick Chubb. Now, I love this guy in college. I was a huge fan of him at Georgia, and this guy backed up Todd Gurley, replaced Todd Gurley when Gurley got hurt, and I really love to see him in the NFL. Unfortunately, he's with Cleveland, who, crazy enough to say, is stacked. Like, they've got Carlos Hyde, and they have Duke Johnson already, and now Nick Chubb is the odd man out at this point. But eventually, I do like Chubb. Number 9, Nyheim. Hit him with the Hines for the Colts. Indianapolis is going to use this guy a lot. They say they're going to use him in different facets in their offense, and I could see in the return game as well. They do have Marlon Mack there. I'm a USF guy, but I'm not tied to the fact that Marlon Mack's going to be a superstar there. But I can see Hines working in with that rotation. The Colts spent 2 draft picks on rookie running backs. So we can see that they're not real happy with Mack as the featured back either. Number 10, John Kelly. You're not going to be drafting John Kelly unless you're in a larger league or unless you're in a league that goes maybe 16 rounds deep and you got Todd Gurley with your first pick. John Kelly might end up being the handcuff in that Rams offense, so he's somebody you think about if you end up taking Gurley with that first pick overall. So I'm David from davidgonos.com. If you like this video, click like. If you'd like to hear more fantasy advice from me for your team or your league, click subscribe. And if you want to see more rankings and more stuff like this, watch this next video. Thanks and have a happy fantasy.